The first meeting of the Future Generations Collaborative officially started at the Native American Youth and Family Center and had started training to be community health workers. First, by doing screening talks about traditional birthing and childbearing practices, any kind of knowledge about fetal alcohol spectrum disorder, and then any information we may have about historical trauma. We were all community members that lived and, functioned within the Native community.
One of my favorite memories of the FGC is probably the first trainings that we went through all together. I didn't know anybody that was there. That's a lie. I knew a few people that were there, but not very many. And we did so much awesome work and really healed together, really healed some of those hurts that maybe a lot of us didn't talk about ever. And that really bonded us. And I remember this one time that we went to Oregon State. We rode down in a big van together, all of us, and Barbie was with us. And it was just the funnest, it was girl time. We just laughed and just joked around the whole time. But then when we got down there, it was strictly business. We had to do our presentation, and we learned and we grew from that experience. That fear changed us for the better.
Today, the Future Generations Collaborative provides space for Native Indigenous mothers to bring their children to interact with each other, as well as space for community events for people to gather, such as for birthdays or traditional name givings, prayer services, just events. We recently had a poetry reading event, as well as a tobacco cessation event and mini powwows. And we're also working on providing a community garden, as well as building a tiny home space for Native people that need housing, temporary housing, transitioning housing. Well, the Natural Helpers are adults within the Future Generations Collaborative that help to network and communicate between different communities. We bring in family and we share information, and we attend trainings for different information, with fetal alcohol spectrum disorder. We also show up whenever we need voices for budget hearings or to sit on boards like the Multnomah County Public Health Advisory Board. We try to just hold space in different places where hopefully the services will directly benefit our own community.
Community care, I think that affects everything about us. For me, I didn't know anything about community before I moved to Portland. Before I got involved with the FGC, I didn't even know what community was. So it teaches us to be better relatives. It teaches us to be better mothers and fathers and aunties and uncles.
So in our language, in every introduction that we say Enmi Naimuma. And in our language, that means we are one, all made by the same maker, all created equally and are to share everything that's created equally. And that's a saying and a way of life that we live, and it's the ways that we've lived since time immemorial, and it's the reason that we're here today. The resilience stems from loving everyone and everything. And when I say we are one, I'm not just talking about humans. I'm talking about our Mother Earth. I'm talking about the water. I'm talking about our animal and plant relatives. And we were put on this earth, in our belief, to take care of each other and to take care of everyone, irregardless of what they look like, irregardless of where they come from, irregardless of their background, their culture, their traditions. I think a good reminder of our strength and power is looking through our familial history and looking at our ancestors and listening to the oral history from our elders as far as the different trials and triumphs our people went through colonization. We're here for a reason, and that reason is the strength and power of our ancestors and of our people who have withstand and continue to withstand the detriments that happen against our people. But practicing our culture, our traditions, our language is vital in the continuance of our strength and our power. It's important that we reinforce our communities. It's important that we encourage our community members to be proud of who they are, to encourage everyone to be proud of who we are and to recognize what we've been through. It's something that holds us strong in our everyday lives. It's something that we call upon to get us through those tough times. And so when we're practicing our songs, when we're practicing our traditions, it reawakens that strength and power to get us through. So it's very important there's somebody today practicing that. And then we have like our children, our kids, who will be our future generations, who will be that adult in 10 to 20 years, who will, again, teach the next generation. So when we're in community, that is our ties that intertwine together, that strengthen that rope of our history. If our history was a rope, all of those different generations intertwine to create that strength and that durability to get through the various things that we go through.
I think coming together and feeding each other, praying together, gathering together, really just relying on each other for everything. And that takes a really strong community. That's what we know how to do, and those are our strengths. Someone doesn't have access to food, we bring them a food box with salmon from the river and local food from our farms. If somebody wasn't brought up in their culture, we bring them in, and you're going to find relatives here, and you're going to make have a chosen family. And if you don't know how to make regalia, we'll find somebody who knows how. We'll show each other. It's just all about coming together and taking care of each other. It's definitely helpful if you're able to connect with the community. And I think the hardest thing is stepping away from that individualism and being able to ask for help.
Our story is unique as far as what we've been through and how we're still here. You know, our songs were silenced for so long, but they're still here. And a lot of people can't explain that. And it does kind of make me emotional because, sometimes I think it's not something meant to be understood, but something that's meant to be felt. And I feel it strong just even talking about it. And that itself shows how powerful our people are and how powerful our traditions are. So I think, people being proud of that and continuing to practice it to make sure that it is here for the next 7 generations is important and is a good way to remind myself of just how strong and powerful our people are. In our tradition and our culture, we've always been communal people. There's been people in our communities who have different roles, who have different expertise, who have different values that all contribute to the greater whole of our communities and what it has sustained us for this long. And I think it contributes to the way that we love in the sense that, when we are able to gather, when we are able to be together, there's just such a lively, loving environment. I think of, going to ceremonies or powwows where you have multiple generations there, and it helps fill those gaps in what we need to sustain us. You have the people from the past who have the wisdom to teach us about the various things we've been through and how to get through those trials.